Now, as far as you go, you're a track guy
Yes.
that transitioned into boxing, strength and conditioning. How did that happen?
You know what? God put me here. I would love to say I came up with this concept and I was going to do this on my own. I was at the track one day at UNLV and University of Nevada, Las Vegas, where I was working at the time, where I was working, and I saw a guy running around the track who looked like a football player. And I introduced myself to him and his dad. It just happened to be Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter. And this is before Shawn became a world champion, and they introduced him, told me he was a boxer. He said that they wanted to do some training with me. We trained, and he was like, look, I want you to be part of a camp. Shawn got a major fight coming up in about 4 months. I want you to be part of that. And I was like, what's a camp? Right? And so this was over a decade ago. And so I was like, okay. He said this was about 2 or 3 months where a guy takes time to get ready for a fight. And we want you to come in and do the strength conditioning. I said no initially because I didn't want to mess up Shawn's chances of getting a title. And the guy Kenny said, you don't have to worry about the gym stuff. Just work on the strength and conditioning. I'm going to handle the gym stuff. He said, but in the meantime, come to the gym every day for free. Come to the gym every day. We was in the gym 4 hours a day at least. Every day just training and me watching and learning from Kenny Porter and Shawn. And 3 to 4 months later, Shawn became the world champion. And everybody was just commending how in shape he was, how explosive he was, how strong he was. And I was able to be part of that. And that's kind of how I got my start. And then I just kind of sat back for at least another year and a half before I took on anybody else, really. And I ended up getting Badu, Jack. And we became world champions again right after that. So
Damn, that's so.
before I knew it, I had 2 world champions, 3 world champions, 4 world champions. And then next you know, I got a chance to work with Caleb Plant. And I think like a little bit over a year and a half, right at 2 years later, Caleb becomes IBF world champion. So now I had like 5 world champions, 6, and now I'm at 14 now. So that's kind of how I got started, but you know, I'm just grateful and blessed to be in this space.
How do you balance so many different personalities? Like you got 14 alpha dogs,
Right.
and you know everybody wants you to themselves.
Well, it's not easy, but I have a strong team of guys behind me that help train my athletes, and I wish I could be there at all places at all times, but my guys are very competent. They do a great job. And what I try to do is, before I even really think I'm going to train someone, I try to get to know who they are. Because you can't approach everybody the same. You got to approach everybody individually. And everyone comes from different places. Some of them grew up with mom in the house. Some grew up with not having mom in the house. Some grew up with dad in the house. Some grew up with not having dad in the house. Some grew up not having either parent at home, and you don't know where they came from, their upbringing, the experiences they come to the table with, and you have to be able to really get to know that person if you really plan to be successful with them. So before I even trained Jake the first time, I started asking Jake about his life. Mom, dad, how he grew up, where he grew up, so I can get a better understanding of who I'm dealing with. And I do that with every athlete to try to figure out who they are. That way I can press the right button. You press the wrong button, you might get hit. But I pride myself on trying to press the right button so we can get the results. Because if you press the right button, you can't get the results.